Hi. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about why I replaced my receptionist with a AI assistant for 30 days. Now, let me give you some context. As you see on my screen, this is how much a receptionist costs your business per year. Now, let me take an example of a bank. A receptionist salary, assuming to be $3,000 a month, for 12 months, it could cost about $36,000. Now, in terms with insurance and other administrative expenses for the whole year, it could cost about $4,000. So, when we total up in a year, we end up spending around $40,000 on a receptionist. Now, let's see what is a return on investment. Now, when we invest $40,000 on a receptionist and we spend some time training her or in like sending her for some courses or getting her some domain wide experience, that is the additional expenses which I have not even covered as part of this, right? Now, let's say what is the return on investment. So, for total number of hours in a year is about 365 days multiplied by 24 hours equal to 8,760 hours, right? Now, a receptionist works about 8 to 9 hours in a day, considering an average to be 8 hours. Let's say if there are total holidays in a year, we are calculating the total holidays in a year. Now, let's say if there are 52 weekends and every weekend consists of 2 days of leave, it consists of about 104 days of weekend holidays. And let's say if she is entitled or if he is entitled for 25 days of annual leave, then it comes out to be around 104 plus 25. And if an additional 5 days of sick leave is taken, it comes out to be 104 plus 25 plus 5 equals to, let's say, 134 days. In a year, she is working only for 231 days and 8 hours every day. So when we multiply both of these, it comes out to be around 1,848 hours in a year, right? Now, as we saw earlier, that there are about 8,760 hours in a year, we deduct the working hours by the receptionist, which is 1,848 hours in a year, and we get the gap, which is about 6,912 hours, which means in a year, there is no one in that business. Let's say, for example, of a bank. Okay. So there is no one in the bank who is actually picking up the calls or answering the customers for 6,912 hours. Now, let's see how this could impact your business. So there is a gap of 6,912 hours. Now, assuming that you lose one inquiry every 10 hours, it equals to about 691 leads lost in a year, right? Now, across the year, let's say the average income that you make from one customer is just $1,000. Maybe that banking customer is taking a loan and you could make a lot more money out of it. Maybe they are having credit cards with you, maybe they are making deposits with you and you are making more money out of it. But let's take a smallest average of $1,000 in a year from one customer, that equals to $691,000 lost just because there was no one working or there was no one there to pick up the calls or answer the messages or take care of the customers. So, what happens in this scenario is we just looked into a very lowest value, which is $1,000. Now, let's say if that customer is having a loan and you make more than $10,000 in a year through home loans or personal loans from that customer, You just need to add one zero. It could be ranging to $6 million, which could be a revenue loss straight, right? Now, let's take a step back, right? So, when a customer is actually looking for a personal loan, or let's say he's looking for a credit card, or a simple thing as opening a new bank account, where do they start first? They start by going to Google or let's say ChatGPT and start with, banks with the lowest interest rate, or let's say banks which have cashback credit cards, or banks which support um, opening an account hassle free, something like that. And eventually they land upon your website. Now, when they come to your website, they see a lot of text over there. There is a huge amount of information that is being displayed, and they eventually just keep scrolling and scrolling, and they click some tabs from products to solutions like credit cards, and eventually they see a lot of credit cards. They get confused which one is the right one for me. Is it a shopping card, or it should be a travel card, or it should be a cashback card, or one which will give me a lot of points? And amidst this chaos, they start scrolling down and they see a FAQ page. And from the FAQ page, it's mostly not a page, like a series of questions and answers. Now, once they go through these FAQ questions and answers, which is in text format, they may read maybe one or two questions, and that may not clearly answer all their queries. And eventually they feel like, okay, I think they don't have what I want. And they see like further down there is a contact us button, and they fill up a long lengthy form, and I don't know, it lands up in your CRM. And if it's a weekend, there is no one there to call them back, and for 48 hours, 72 hours, that lead is unattended and is going cold. you know the lead who landed on your website was hot, right? And the lead, if they had the answers at the same time, you could have potentially converted that lead into a customer, right? So this could have been really simple. Now, what happens some of the times is they end up calling your IVR systems. Now, your IVR has been built maybe in the year 2000s, and it's not changed since then. It's with the default configuration, and it's running with the same menu. Press 1 for accounts, 2 for loans, 3 for cards, press 0 to talk to our customer care, you know and let's say they press 1 for accounts, then you give another 10 different options, and they press, let's say, loans, you give 10 other options. And eventually what they discover is, from the IVR system, what is the eligibility criteria for getting a loan. Basically, you need a ton of documents, so you just give out the list of all the documents and the criteria, bank statements, and all this information to get a loan. But they cannot apply for a loan from an IVR system. Or eventually, when they click on zero, there is a long holding time, and they are listening to your 1990s music for maybe like 20 minutes. And it's saying that all our customer support representatives are busy serving other customers and you are valuable. Please keep holding the line. So eventually, after 20 minutes, their patience is at the pinnacle, and they choose to drop the call, right? So this is an average scenario. This is how the entire customer journey happens, and eventually they switch to some other bank who could attend them quicker, who could give them more value in a shorter span of time, and who can respond immediately. So there you end up one customer who could have actually got in more deposits, from whom you could have had credit cards, from whom you could have got loans. And if it was a premium customer or a high value HNI customer. In that case, you could have made a ton lot of money over a long span of time if you were there at that moment when the customer was a hot lead, right? So this could have been handled a bit better, and this could have been not so brutal if there was someone to handle those gaps, that gap of 6,912 hours in a year, which is empty right now. So, what I've done is recently one of the marketing managers of a bank came to me and highlighted the entire issue. And she spoke to me that she showed the phone and she scrolled up the notifications and she highlighted that these are all the notifications, which is the email notifications that comes from customers who fill up that long form, which I mentioned earlier, who fill up that long intake form to get a loan or to apply for a credit card. And she doesn't have the time to, respond to all of these mails. And the support team is off on weekends and she does not have the bandwidth to, follow with all of them or to follow with the customer support representatives whether they have attended or answered all uh, queries or things like that. So they are eventually missing out a lot of customers or leads basically because of delays in responses to them. What I did is I built a simple voice AI assistant, which is similar to an AI receptionist, which can handle calls and which would be also installed on their website as a simple widget. And customers or leads basically who are coming to their website, instead of you know going through a junk of information and filling up the contact us form and waiting for 24 to 48 hours or reading through the FAQs, they can actually talk to this voice AI assistant and get the answers to all their questions immediately. So let me give you a quick demo of what I built. This is the website. Assistant to Goldie Commercial Bank. How may I help you today? So, hey Goldie, so I am actually giving a demo uh, on my YouTube channel to display, like to demonstrate what are your capabilities and what you can do in this case. So, can you run through all the services that are offered by the bank? Give you a quick overview for your demo. Goldie Commercial Bank offers personal banking services in the UAE, including current accounts, savings and call accounts, fixed deposits, a range of credit cards, and loans like personal, car, and home loans. We also have special savings products with tiered interest and various card rewards and cashback options. If you want details on any specific product or feature, just let me know. What would you like to highlight next? Okay, so I would like to apply for a credit card. So, can you tell me what are the different cards that you offer? Commercial Bank offers several credit cards, each with its own perks. There's the 365 cashback credit card, which gives up to 6% cashback on dining and 5% on groceries, plus other categories. The Touchpoints Platinum, Gold, and Titanium cards offer rewards and movie ticket deals. The Essential Cashback card gives 1% flat cashback and is free for life. There's also the Lulu Platinum card for Lulu points and the Traveler credit card with travel and hotel cashback. Each card has different features. So if you tell me what you're looking for, like cashback, travel, or rewards, I can help you narrow it down. What's most important to you in a card? Okay, so I think I buy a lot of groceries and shopping. So is there something which is relevant to me, a shopping card, which can give me more cashback or something? Groceries and shopping, you might like the 365 cashback credit card, which gives 5% cashback on groceries and 1% on other spend. Yeah, that sounds good. Let me have that. Choice. The 365 cashback credit card gives you 5% cashback on groceries and 1% on other shopping, with a monthly cashback cap of 1,000 dirhams and a minimum spend of 5,000 dirhams per month. The first year annual fee is waived, and you get extra perks like box 2 for 1 movie All right, tickets. Let's book it. How do I take it forward? Nothing else for now. Thank you so much. for calling and for walking through the demo with me. As you can see, it's super simple to set up. And if you actually notice, it's the lead can actually get all the details which are needed in choosing the right product within minutes. So the lead does not need to actually browse through the entire website, or it does not need to wait over the call, or there is no need to fill up the contact us form and wait for 24 to 48 hours. So the lead gets the information immediately. So the next steps will be taken as soon as possible. For me to set this up, what I did was I went to the bank's website. I understood how the different products work, what are the different services that they offer, what are their working hours, and what is the criteria for applying for a card, for a loan. And I fed all this information into the voice AI receptionist. Now, for you as a bank, you would be only giving me your website details and any product information that you want the receptionist to answer for the customer inquiries. So it's all a done for you setup. I will be creating the AI agent for you, and I will be setting this up on your website as well. And for setting this up on your website, it's basically just a 4 line code. And that code, when it is installed on your website, the people who visit your website can actually talk to your website. So a talking website itself highlights that you are a digital bank, and it also highlights that you invest in technology and you invest in valuing the time of that potential customer, right? So that creates a very good first impression, and they feel more connected to you when they can actually talk to the voice AI assistant. They don't feel shy in asking the wrong questions, which they would when they would be talking to a real customer support executive, right? So with an AI receptionist, they can open their heart and they can go through all their inquiry questions immediately. What happens is during the call, we can even set the agent to ask the right lead qualification questions. For example, if you want the age of the customer to be 18 years and older, you can ask those questions within the call itself. Or if you want to have a specific income criteria before applying for a card, you can ask that question right on call itself. So the AI agent has the ability to understand the voice and take that data, convert into text format, and store it in the CRM. And based on the eligibility, it will allow you to take things forward. So it can even capture personal details like, let's say, for example, name, email address. So all the things which you are actually collecting over a contact us form, the user does not need to type these things anymore. They can just speak to the voice AI assistant. So when they call or when they dial the number of the bank, they will be immediately handled by the voice AI assistant, and they can ask their queries, and the voice AI assistant, the voice AI receptionist will capture all the information which they want based on your lead qualification criteria and store it in the backend CRM itself. Now, let's say if there are multiple sales representatives across different regions whom you need to connect with, like during the call itself. So, what you can do is you can actually integrate different calendars of different sales representatives across all the regions and connect it to the voice receptionist. So the AI receptionist can ask, okay, where are you calling from? Okay, let's say you're calling from Dubai or you're calling from Doha. So the sales representative from Doha calendar will be displayed, and you can immediately book the calendar on the sales representative of Doha location. If they say it's Dubai, then you can actually book the calendar of the sales representative of Dubai location. So they will have discussions with their respective team based in that location. If they want to personally meet them, or if you want to have a Zoom call or a Google Meet call, it can all be arranged within the same setup itself. It's very simple. Now, once the call ends, what happens is you, as a marketing manager, need to know that how was the call? Was it positive? Was it negative? What was the summary of the discussion? So, all of this, it does a sentiment analysis from the voice. Was the customer angry or was the customer neutral? So, it does a sentiment analysis of all the conversation and creates a summary and sends it to your CRM as well. So this integration, once it is done, it may take about 7 to 12 days to set this up. Once it is done, you will get a list of like a daily report which contains the list of calls that happened in this day and what was the sentiment for that call and what was the summary of that call. Now, the good thing is after the call is finished, based on the sentiment, or let's say if a customer has applied for a credit card, it can understand that the customer applied for a credit card. Now, the AI agent can trigger a workflow for nurturing the customer till that meeting happens, or till the time, or let's say for 7 days, basically. So in 7 days' time, every day an email will be sent to the customer to give them more details about the card. Or if they are applying for a loan, a separate workflow will be triggered to give them more details about the loan and its benefits and how their life would change once you get the loan. All the upselling can be done in that nurture emails. So it could be a 7 day email sequence, it could be a 30-day sequence, or even a 365-day sequence. No problems at all. The system can take that. So this helps to keep the customer warm and not turn cold like in the previous old scenario where, or in your current setup, right? So the customer is unattended and has no clue whether he is ever going to get a response or not. So all these things can help improve the relationship with the customer and increase the number of touch points that they have with the bank, which will help them feel that okay, the bank cares for me and it cares about the experience which I have with them, and they will stay long term and they will invest more with the bank. So you will start seeing the revenue overall across different customers. Once the setup is done, what we actually do is we fine tune the agent. So how do we fine tune is basically, now instead of saying the word am, like for example for am, it needs to say am, not am, right? So instead of saying the word pam, it should say pm. So these are the fine tuning that we will be doing. Let's say for example dirhams. So we need to train the agent to say the word dirhams or reals, right? So we need to train the agent to say the right pronunciation. So this is how we basically fine tune the agent, right? So instead of saying sometimes like 6 p.m. or 6 a.m., we will say 6 o'clock. So we'll train the agent to say 6 o'clock, right? So it feels more natural, more connected, and filler words like how a human talks during a conversation, like uh-huh or mm-hmm. So, adding these fillers during the conversation to make it feel more connected and more natural for a customer. These are like value adds which we keep doing once a setup is all completed. Or let's say if a customer is giving an address, specifically mentioning the word dot, or let's say if he's mentioning a URL, say google.com, instead of saying google.com. So training these are the small tweaks or fine tuning that we do in the agent, so that the agent feels more lively and more with a human persona. So yeah, it overall takes about 7 to 12 working days for the setup. Now that includes like we need to understand the different products and services across the different departments, business functions, or which the bank offers, and then come up with a strategy on how would your first line of communication with the bank would be. So it what should it say, like, hey, my name is Alex and we are welcome to Goldie Commercial Bank or XYZ Commercial Bank. So what should be the first line, what should be the greetings, and how should it help speak to the customer? Should it be very professional or should it be very caring? Should it be friendly? Should it be conversational? Should it be like a storyteller? So we can add different personalities to the AI receptionist as well. So hope you had a very good insight on how this works and how it could actually help solve the gap within your business. I hope that the demo gave you some basic understanding of how this works, and I hope you are clear with understanding how there's a big gap of 6,912 hours right now in your business where the leads are not getting answered, and hope having a voice AI receptionist makes it very clear that it can give you enormous amount of value and revenue from your customers and a better customer experience and positive reviews and more referrals from those customers to invest with your bank. So if you want to set this up for your organization, click on the link below. I have shared my calendar link below. Set up a call with me and feel free to discuss. I am open to and your requirements and highlight the strategy or the roadmap, how we need to things forward, and the different set of or prerequisites to take it ahead. So no stress, no hurries. You can take your time, and as you get deeper understanding, you will feel more confident about rolling this out within your organization and within your region as well. Most of the times I have seen that this is the first implementation within the country, so you could be the potential first bank within the region to have a speaking website, or basically to have a voice AI receptionist for a bank. So maybe the management will appreciate you along big time for having this kind of setup for your organization. So feel free to discuss with me. I'm open to give you different strategies and insights, and click on the link below to book a call with me. Take care.